Okay, so that feeling, you know, that travel bug that bites you, like especially in your 20s, when you just want to get out there and see the world, experience new things.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's that reality check, right? Budget, safety, huge considerations. So how do we balance that wanderlust with being smart and, responsible?
Well, we're diving deep into that today. This is all about how to stay safe while you're traveling, especially when you're on a budget. We've gone through tons of information, tips, tricks, advice, really focused on you guys, our listeners who want those incredible adventures, but, got to do it affordably and safely.
Exactly. So think of this as your like essential guide to traveling the world with confidence without breaking the bank.
Yeah, it's all about making smart choices, not about being scared, just being prepared. So, whether you're dreaming of trekking through the Amazon or, I don't know, exploring ancient ruins in Rome, we're going to give you the tools to do it right.
Right. Okay, so you're looking at that map, right? Maybe even book that flight. Where do you even start with the whole safety thing?
Well, the foundation, the absolute first step, is research and planning. Those two things are your best friend, your best defense.
Okay, so it's like arming yourself with knowledge before you even step on that plane.
Exactly. And it's not just about finding cheap flights or the coolest hostels. It's about really understanding the place you're going to, the local customs, the laws, any potential safety issues that might pop up.
Right, because what's normal here might be totally different somewhere else.
Exactly. And that can, lead to all sorts of misunderstandings or even risky situations.
So where do you even begin with finding all this information?
Great question. So first up, the U.S. Department of State. They have these travel advisories. Seriously, they're like gold. Up-to-date info on safety and security risks for almost every country.
So you're saying before you even book anything, check those advisories.
100%. They can really give you a feel for the place, beyond just the tourist highlights.
Got it. So research, planning, check. What about like keeping all that info organized?
Oh, there are some fantastic apps for that. TripIt, for example, is awesome. You can keep your flights, your hotel bookings, emergency contacts, everything, all in one place.
So if something happens, you're not scrambling for information.
Exactly. It's like having a safety net right in your pocket.
Okay, next big thing on the list, got to be accommodation. Finding a safe place to stay, especially when you're on a budget, can be tricky.
You're telling me it's a real balancing act.
So how do you find that sweet spot, right? Affordable but secure.
Reviews, reviews, reviews. That's your secret weapon. Look for comments that specifically talk about safety and security.
So not just like, oh, the breakfast was good.
Right. You want the real deal. Do they mention security cameras, lockers for your valuables? Did other travelers feel safe walking around at night? Those kinds of details.
Yeah, the locker thing is huge, especially in hostels.
Absolutely. Knowing your passport and money are locked up gives you such peace of mind. Websites like Hostelworld, Airbnb, those are your go-to for finding places with good reviews. Spend some time reading, get a feel for the place before you book.
Become a review detective.
Exactly. Okay, so you got your accommodation sorted. Now, how about getting around? Transportation can really eat into your budget, and of course, safety is a factor here too.
Yeah, and there are so many options. Buses, trains, taxis, ride sharing. It can be overwhelming.
It can. And while hitchhiking might seem like the ultimate budget travel hack,
Yeah, I always thought that was a bit risky.
yeah, it really is. You just never know. Public transport is usually a much safer bet, and often it's pretty cheap, especially in cities. Buses, trains, subways, those are usually good options.
And it's a cool way to experience the city, like a local,
Totally. But I always recommend having a little financial cushion.
like a backup plan.
Exactly. For those times when maybe you're not comfortable taking the bus late at night or the trains aren't running, having that extra cash for a taxi or a safe ride share, well, that's peace of mind right there.
Yeah, I could see that. So you've arrived, you're settled in, you're getting around. What about just being out and about exploring? What are the street smarts essentials?
Oh, being aware of your surroundings is key, really paying attention, especially in crowded areas. Pickpockets, they love those spots where tourists are distracted, taking photos, looking at maps.
Right, so easy to get caught up in the moment and let your guard down.
Totally. And, think about investing in an anti-theft bag or wallet. They have hidden pockets, slash-proof straps, all sorts of clever features.
And I guess it goes without saying, keep your valuables close. Not in your back pocket where anyone can grab them.
Exactly. And think about how you're dressing, too.
Really?
Yeah. Try blending in. If you look like a tourist, you're more likely to be a target.
So ditch the Hawaiian shirt and the fanny pack.
Maybe. It's more about, like, not sticking out. Respecting local customs, not drawing unnecessary attention to yourself.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk about health. Staying healthy on the road, especially when you're trying to save money, that's a whole other challenge.
Huge one. And this is where you really can't afford to cut corners.
So what are the non-negotiables?
First, vaccinations. Get all the recommended and required ones for your destination.
Okay, got it. Vaccinations? Check.
And travel insurance. This one is so important, even if you're on a super tight budget.
I know insurance can seem like an extra expense, but
It's worth it, trust me. There are budget-friendly options out there, that cover the essentials. Medical emergencies, trip cancellations, lost luggage. It's a small price to pay for a huge peace of mind.
okay, so insurance definitely. What about everyday health stuff, like just staying healthy while you're traveling?
Pack a basic first aid kit. Painkillers, bandages, antiseptic wipes, anything you might need. And super important, especially if you're going somewhere with questionable tap water, water purification tablets.
Yeah, those are a lifesaver,
Yeah.
literally, and so cheap. Okay, so we've covered a lot of the practical stuff. What about some of those interesting insights or expert tips you mentioned?
Okay, so Rick Steves, the travel guru, he always says that blending in, being respectful of local cultures, that's not just good manners, it's a safety strategy.
It's like you're less likely to attract unwanted attention if you're not like a walking stereotype.
Exactly. And then there's couch surfing. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have it. I always thought it was like a bit risky.
Well, yeah, but a lot of these platforms now, they have really good safety features, verified profiles, reviews from other travelers, and of course it's super budget friendly because you're staying with locals for free.
Interesting. The reviews will make a big difference, I guess.
Huge difference. On the health side, there's this app. It's called Traveler's Diarrhea.
Wait, really? There's an app for that?
Yep. It's from the International Society of Travel Medicine. It's actually really helpful because traveler's diarrhea, it's so common and it can totally ruin your trip.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, what else?
Oh, this one's a bit quirky, but apparently plain colored luggage is less likely to be targeted by thieves.
Really?
Yeah. I guess the thinking is bright, flashy bags, they stand out more. Thieves might think they have more valuable stuff in them.
So my boring old suitcase is actually a good thing.
Could be. And finally, keep an eye out for travel safe zones. Some cities are starting to create these areas specifically for tourists with extra security and police presence.
That's great. So we've covered so much ground. I guess the big question is, how do we sum all this up for our listener? What's the takeaway?
I think the main thing is budget travel and safety. They can absolutely go hand in hand. You don't have to compromise one for the other. It's about making informed choices, planning ahead, and being aware of your surroundings. You can have these incredible adventures without, putting yourself at risk.
It's about being smart, not scared, right?
Exactly. The point of travel is to experience new things, create memories, not just save a few bucks, and then be worried the whole time.
So beyond just saving money, how can all this safety stuff actually make the travel experience better?
Think about it this way. When you're confident, you're secure, knowing that you've taken those steps to stay safe, you're actually free to experience more. You're not holding back. You're not constantly worried. You can really immerse yourself in the place, in the moment. And that's what makes travel truly transformative. It's not just about the destination, it's about how you experience it.
And those experiences are priceless, no matter what your budget is.
Absolutely.